Yeah, I know. That's why I don't know why I'm here.
"30 seconds, we're back."
And then what happens? The room catches on fire? Why can't we just start now? Just like in 30 seconds, colored lights come on.
15 seconds now.
15 seconds, smoke appears. I'll begin to levitate. I'm sorry, don't get mad at me because your hair's out of style. There we go.
She does all the work.
Now,
Welcome.
so are you telling me that the show is starting now?
The show's...
I've been sitting out here for 20 minutes being funny. And the show's starting now?
You've used all your good material. You can do the wrestling bits again.
Well, weren't they taping that before? Can't they work that back in?
We'll try. I'm Scott Zek. That's Steve Dahl. We're calling this WDHL Chicago. It's a creative little name I came up with.
Right. It's like my name with the vowels taken out.
Yeah, like a radio.
Like I took a vowel movement.
Yeah. A vowel movement. All right, so let's start. Let's do a segment on Before Chicago. What did Steve Dahl want to be as a kid?
Radio. No,
really?
radio guy.
From the start?
Well, and a firefighter. I'd still like to be a firefighter.
Yeah, firefighters.
Like Eddie Schwartz. Yeah, like to be a firefighter. I always wanted to be on the radio.
Okay, so as you were a kid, who did you listen to, and how did they influence?
Nobody. Well, I grew up in L.A., so. I don't know that people would know.
Well, you played some stuff on the air of people you've listened to.
Yeah, Loman and Barkley, Robert W. Morgan, who was sort of like Larry Lujak, and Loman and Barkley were kind of a hipper version of Bob and Ray, you know, like more from my dad's generation, as opposed to my grandfather's. Bob Crane from Hogan's Heroes, he was very funny and good. People like that.
All right, and then did you get anything from that you use today? The characters, whatnot?
Yeah, I think I got. Well, you really took the funny out of me, man.
It's just one segment. After
you sucked the funny right out of me.
Okay, who wants to hit the drum?
I want to hit the drum. Can I hit the drum?
Yes, you can hit the drum.
When shall I hit the drum? When you want me to hit the drum, kid?
Hit the drum now.
I hit the drum, kid.
Yes, you did. It sounded all right. This is Johnny Nash, taking a crash course in English pronunciation. Steer it up.
Steer it up. My mom's in the crowd, so don't make her freak out.
Yeah, where's your mom?
Where's my mom? There she is. She's
Hi,
back
Mom.
there. She's listened to you all the way from when you were with Gary. She introduced me to you. I did errands with her, and that's who we listened to.
Yeah?
Steve and Gary. So I've been with you for as long
Yeah,
as
I noticed you've had Gary on your show. And we promised me that this show isn't going to run 200 times.
I have no control over it.
Well, no, somebody does. I'll come burn this school to the ground if I see this show more than 10 times. I see like Gary, like when he was a teenager, doing a show with you.
All right, we're going to try to play some clips through.
I saw Gary, although I think this was a recent show, but he said that he thought the internet was going to catch on. And I think that was last year, right?
Yeah,
that was like 1997.
Well, he's on the AM, and sometimes they're a little
You think it's going to catch on, Gary, the internet? Yeah, I think it's here to stay.
Funny, him and Roe came out in matching black. It was very fun. It was a very fun show. He pulled in more people, though. So. No, you pulled in more people.
No. I don't really care unless I'm getting paid. But I didn't even talk. I talked about it one time.
Yeah.
How many times did they talk about it? A lot, because you send them those faxes that you send out.
Actually, he made a crack about that.
Fake
on
important
air too.
faxes.
Yeah.
From Scott. To be read by Dahl on air.
All right, I got to say.
So how many times did they mention it?
They mentioned it once too.
And how many people did they have?
How many did they have?
Tell the truth.
Okay,
More.
You
they had
had
more.
No, they didn't. They had You had 400 reservations and 250 show. They had 250 reservations, 100 show. So you win.
The rest of my case. Why would you bother to make a reservation for this and then not show?
I don't know.
Just to mess with Scott Zach?
You should see.
Just to get in his head? In front of his mom? Well, that's so sad.
Okay. We're gonna play a clip right now. This is clip from when.
Is it really an hour show?
Yeah.
Because I don't think I can stay that long. Can you run that part about Gary with the internet? Oh yeah, I really think that's going to catch on.
This is Steve on KPPC, 1971.
Oh.
Yeah? Okay, that's Chicago Dialogues take 2. That's Chicago Dialogue parts 1 and 2. Got mice mixed around. Right? Right, Rod Stewart. Before that, every picture tells a story. It's 7-Eleven in the morning.
Humiliate me?
Hey, 7-Eleven. That's really neat, kid. And that's who I am. Good evening, Mr. I figured it all out. It was funny that it was 7-12. I mean 7-Eleven.
Man, I was
dumb that it was 7-Eleven because that has a lot to do with craps. And that has a lot to do with no. People do crabs and look that up.
This is my only defense. I have no comedy.
People don't do crabs in the morning, so it's all right. I can't say that. It didn't make any sense at 7:13. We'll leave it at that.
All right. So do you go when?
See, now you're way better than that already. And I was like that age.
On the cards.
No, I know, but I was your age. I mean, that made no sense. I couldn't even keep track of the 7-Eleven part. I was 7-12. I mean, 7-13. Oh my God, I don't know.
Well, right now it's 8:28. So there.
Well, what time did we start?
8:15.
Got commercials?
Wait, let me tell you something.
Commercials?
We are done with segment 1. We are done with segment 1, and we'll be back.
Well, you don't have commercials.
We don't put
them
in
have
now. We
kids
put them in later.
Don't cut your fingers off when you're in art class. Brought to you by the art class.
All right, we're done with this
do?
segment. What?
Oh,
no, it's about don't burn down your house. Don't burn down.
I will burn the school down if this is shown more than 10 times.
I know.
All right, end the segment now.
Oh, is this segment over? All right, good.
What's the difference? How do you tell?
This is how you tell.
All right.
You maniacs! Hey, listen! This is now officially the world's largest anti-disco rally. And you're the insane coho lips. And we love you. Here they go. That brought up real good. Who you think of, disco?
Welcome back to WDHL. All right, so how did you get to Chicago? From Detroit to Chicago?
In a car.
Oh. I asked for that too.
Well, I was working in Detroit, and I was successful there, but...
The water bed.
What?
The X in the water bed in the stereo.
I don't know.
Oh, the audience is like, are you serving liquor? Because there's a guy just on the water bed. The water bed. You and me, remember? And he looks like he's an Indian or something, so, they can't handle the fire water. So, I'm sorry I moved my chair. You're referring to, can we save it for the question and answer segment? Scott's gonna, go on his pants here, and he's gonna mess his Dockers, I think, if we don't move along in a more appropriate fashion. You know, Scott, I really think that internet's going to catch on. That's not me. That's Gary Meyer who said that, and I think he's right. He said that in 1977. You watch. You watch. But, like, today, I bet you. It's caught on already. I was successful in Detroit, and I wanted to stay there, but they offered me like double the money to come here to Chicago. And I tried to like just get, you know, a $10,000 a year raise, and they wouldn't give it to me. So it was kind of back before management understood that there was value in having a personality. So
yeah, so it was all money.
And really, I don't think the ABC, the company that hired me from Detroit to come here, I don't really think that they cared about me as a personality either. They just wanted to get me out of that market because I was beating 2 of their stations, and then get me here and just kind of let me kind of drift away.
All right, so we got a clip from WDAI in 1978.
What is this, like some nightmare, This Is Your Life?
Have you bought a house yet here, found a place to live, or what are you doing?
Well, we only make $2.50 an hour, so we're not buying anything.
I see. Well, I suggest you find a place in Dalton, you dolt.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Glad I mentioned Dalton this morning.
Dalton.
Dalton?
Dalton, like in your name.
Dalton, as in Steve Dalton. Well, I guess that's where I'll have to get an apartment.
Yeah, well, they're going to change it to Dalton when you move there, you dolt.
All right, all right.
So how did Chicago, the Chicago media, the people who were in Chicago react when you came here?
Indifference.
I don't know. They didn't care? There's no...
I don't know. I recall I was at WDAI for like a year, and I don't ever recall feeling like I was catching on. And then when I left there and went to the Loop in 1979, it's like I caught on. It's like everybody had been listening, but it took like a year for it to really, I don't know, be evident.
All right, before we get to
whatever that means,
the loop, we're going to talk a little bit about Janet. How did you guys meet?
What did he say?
Wrestling.
Wrestling.
And what was the family's reaction to your career? And
I met her. She was going out with a friend of mine in Detroit, and he went out of town.
What is with the feedback?
Excuse me. That's because my microphone is. It's because I'm wearing sort of a turtleneck look. I can just keep it like this. Hello, Scott. How are you, Scott? Hello. I guess it's me. I don't know where to put this.
That's fine. Just leave it.
All right.
So
well, all right then. I'll try to keep my head back like this.
So we're talking.
What was I doing? What?
Janet.
Oh, so he went out of town and he said, keep an eye on her, and I said, okay.
And how did you get her to move to Detroit? I mean, to move to Chicago?
I had to marry her. She would not move here on her own, and plus we lived together, you know. Before we got married, and her parents weren't very happy with that.
So marriage first.
Well, in order to get her to come here, yeah.
All right. Well.
And they hated me, you know, but they wanted to like me.
Okay.
And now they do.
Okay. Good.
Jimmy Pearsall back in the ballpark, and I'm sure glad, and I hope they don't let you people see what's going on here at Comiskey Park. One of the saddest sights I've ever seen in a ballpark in my life. This garbage of demolishing a record has turned into a fiasco. My guest right now is Bill Gleason. And Bill, after all the years you've been in baseball, I know you haven't ever seen anything like this.
Nor has anyone else, except after the final game of a World Series in Shea Stadium. The baseball is no longer the story. It's this crowd.
Yeah, you know,
taking over the ball.
You know, it's amazing. We got the greatest country in the world, but you know what? We have become followers. So many people insecure, don't know what to do with themselves. themselves and how to have a good time, they follow someone who's a jerk.
This is Bill Vick. We will forfeit the game if you don't clear the field. Don't spoil the night for everybody else. Please clear the field so the ball fans can see the game.
I thought... All right, we promise we won't play any more old tapes. Thank you. I thought RBTV was not on the air anymore.
Well, that's only in your community.
Oh.
LT put the slap on us.
Oh, yeah, because they have such good programming.
Yeah. Well, you have to watch that bulletin board over and over again.
Yeah, or they have a gymnasium with 500 madrigals singing and a microphone this big outside in the parking lot. Yeah, they got a good station over there.
Yeah, well, they'll weed us all out. They'll weed us all out. This is another point of us taking ourselves too seriously. There's actually a rivalry and the whole fights between
Really?
us. Yeah, it's again, us taking ourselves way too seriously.
Well, you know, I mean, I guess that's what it's going to be like in the real world. I mean,
so we pray. Yeah, we just
like competing stations, I guess, right?
Well, not really.
Although, well, I mean, yeah, technically you're not. But yeah, it's good. You might as well learn, you know, all the you know, dirty, evil tricks you can while you're young, and then perfect them.
We have fun little fights about. We just got our van redone, and we got fights over whose logo gets to be bigger, and what colors.
So, because you're all on the same van.
Yeah. So it was that's.
Wow, man.
That was the controversial story of the year.
It's heavy.
The fights between directors and outside cable companies, Jones Intercable intervening, very, very big.
Wow.
All right, so...
That sounds really psychotic. A psychotic losers club in their van. And in the meantime, you'll go on to be like some network dude.
And hire them all?
And don't
hire them all.
They'll just still be here fighting over that.
So how did you get over to the Loop from DAI?
Taxi.
We switch it now. Different modes of transportation.
Gary Meyer would have said car again.
And then you would have talked a little bit more about the internet?
Right, and Roe would have gone, wish I'd thought of that.
Oh, Jesus.
Mr. Sledge, as in I'd like to take a sledgehammer and bash your head in, sister.
I'd like to turn her into Sister Sludge right now.
It's called We Are Family, and
Manson family.
You know how we like to break up homes. We're gonna break this one up real good. Ooh, that was downright nuclear. I think she suffered a core meltdown on that one.
I think she blowed up real good.
So what did you think was going to happen?
It was a good setup, man, that Gary. He quit, you know, I didn't fire him. He quit.
We're gonna spend plenty of time talking about that.
I wanted to tell you something, though. They told me, the guy who owned the station and ran the Loop told me not to talk about Disco Demolition the next day. Whatever you do, be cool, don't talk about it. Yeah, okay. So that's why I sound a little tentative there, because...
But you went in knowing you were going to talk.
Well, it seemed to me that I would have to, but... I mean, you know, they threatened... he threatened me with my job, like, because this terrible thing was happening, and if I talked about it, it would make it worse, and then I get to work, and there are all these TV cameras, and it's on the front page of the paper, and, you know, I got to say something, and So actually, that was sort of a pivotal day for me, because I just decided to go with it.
Was it done for I can't say that word, publicity stunt, or were you already popular enough?
I don't know. I think I was pretty popular, but it certainly got me a lot of publicity too.
See, that was a dumb question, and I tried to ad-lib that. It was not on the cards.
You didn't do a bad job, but I'm bailing you out a little bit.
Cool. I want to talk about.
When I got there was no one there, and here I am in this army helmet, and, you know, and with fishing lures, you know, and for medals, and went to throw out the first pitch with Lorelei, who was this girl who did the commercials for the station, and she threw out the first pitch, and then I was to throw out the next pitch. But the catcher came out to the mound to try to work her, you know. So I never got to throw a pitch. And then, you know, there was nobody there, and I'm thinking this is going to be a huge embarrassment. And then by the end of the first game, we were watching it on TV in like the Bard's room, which was a press room that Bill Veeck had, and Harry Carey's talking about how the place is filling up, and then just kind
White Sox any good back then?
Nuts. No.
No. So you filled it.
I'd say that this July 12th will be the 20th anniversary of Disco Demolition, and I would say it would be, based on what I know about next year's team, it would be not a bad idea to recreate it for the 20th anniversary.
And different kind of music to get rid of? What music would you get rid of now? Ska? Not like
I
ska.
do hate ska, but I wouldn't get rid of it, but only because my son, you know. You know, you guys are pulsating enough. You really don't need this. I wouldn't get rid. I guess I wouldn't get rid of anything. All right. No, I would just.
We're gonna take another break.
No, wait. Don't you even want to know what I want to do?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know what I want to do, but I just want to commemorate myself. I want to blow me up.
I'd go.
I'd like to blow myself up.
Big statue of yourself.
Yeah, and then
blow the
blow it
school
up.
up if we play it more than 10 times. All right. I want to talk about Wally Phillips next, because that's the funniest thing on that 20 Years in the Can is that clip and then the song, the old Wally song.
Oh, all right.
So I definitely want to talk about that. So, round of applause.
Another fake break. Yeah.
Some baseball player, I forget the name now, says that had you played country music, there would have been no such rioting on the field.
I don't know.
Really more pacifying?
I've almost been killed in some country western bars before by some pretty crazy people. I really think it was, when you have that many people together, sometimes one little thing, you know, a little spark will set a few of them off. We did chant disco sucks, but that's a very common anti-disco slogan, and
oh, thanks.
We're giving Steve Valtoid's WDHL Chicago name of the show.
I'm sorry. I got a cinnamon toothpick out of my wallet, but you know, my mouth is very dry. It's like 1,000 degrees in here.
I know.
So
Again,
can
I just hold the cards.
Let's keep these.
All right, so let's play.
I have another look I can give you.
Oh, good.
No, I do. Because it's like, I just... I can give you this look for a while if you want.
It's hot in here. We can get a wrestling uniform.
That's my wrestling. Yeah, it's my wrestling look.
20 years in the can.
See, these are just like. Janet got me these for Christmas because.
You know, you got those. You got them at Ed Bauer. I worked there. That says my second life. If you want a good discount, come in and see me.
Yeah, they are Eddie Bauer.
Yeah.
You must really work there.
I do.
So so now, because I like to do the radio show unencumbered, unencumbrado, as we say in Espanol.
All right, let's play clip number 5.
Wait, I hear the teacher talking in your ear the whole time.
I don't have an earpiece.
Well, he's talking in there. It's like, all right, tell him to shut up. We have to play the clip.
All right, play clip number 5.
Why do we have to play the clips?
It's
I
cute.
get up early every day.
But there's no video.
The Wally Phillips way. It's so nice to be together. We talk about the weather. I want to tell you, Wally, I'm super into leather. Oh, Wally, I like you and your newsman, Rick Rosenthal, and that disgusting Steve Dahl. Oh, Wally, your lead-ins to commercials are so cute, and they make you some loot. Oh, Wally, Mr.
So why did you need to go after Wally Phillips? Poor old man.
Well, actually, at the time, he had like a 50 share, which means like half of the radios in Chicago in the morning listen to him. And he had a lot of young people listening because their parents listened and they would just listen and they didn't know any better. So, no, really, so all I had to kind of do was make it unhip to listen to him, and it kind of really changed things for me, so. Because he was.
I love that.
I mean, it was pretty lame. for someone to be like in their 20s to be listening to, you know.
Okay, now this I have to hear. Now, in the song you talk about how he could make what he was talking about and lead that into the commercial. Can you do one of those, or are you that talented? Can you do a sample?
Well,
I'd say you're doing a commercial for Scott's Pet Shop.
All right. Well, you say the first line of the commercial, and then I.
Okay, I say it now, and then you start?
Just say it now.
Oh, they do those really dumb commercials with the screaming and stuff.
Right, well, just anything.
Scott's Pet Shop in Westchester.
All right.
That's the best I do.
So he'd be talking, he'd be going, well, your husband for sure certainly sounds like an animal, and I don't know about you, but if I needed an animal, I'd certainly go to and then Scott's Pet Shop in Westchester. That's what he did.
So you do all the.
Thank you. So he just knew like the first couple words of every commercial.
That's a lot of prep time to know all the commercial stuff.
And then he would work the conversation. But a lot of times it made no sense. It would be like, well, your husband sounds like a banana-eating gorilla, even though the woman's like talking about how he died in a fire. You know, sounds like a crispy critter. And speaking of critters, Scott's Pet Shop. I mean, you know, it was sometimes weird. It was forced.
No, that was his comedy. It was his brand of comedy. So was it a feud? Did he talk about you on air, or was it just you kind of going after him?
He talked about me, which that was his mistake, really.
Because then it tells people you're in Chicago.
The kids in the car go,
Somebody else?
There's a person who is not right. He's a bad influence on children. And the kids go, oh, I got to check that out.
Hey, where's Garrett?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I think he broke up with me.
Oh, okay. Well, just one.
But I haven't heard it from him, so I don't know. I got a call last night at 10 o'clock from Larry Wirth, who said Gary quit. I said, quit what? Smoking? What? He said, the show. I said, oh. He said he had been with him for the last 4 hours, and I said, well, thanks for calling me, and that was about it. And then I read in the paper today a lot of stuff that doesn't seem accurate, but I don't know. It's all a surprise to me.
Well, I hate to.
You'd think after 15 years, a guy could at least do you the courtesy of calling you. But.
Okay, before we get into the breakup of Steve and Gary, how did you and Matthew Meyer meet, as he called himself on air? See, I listened to the CD. I've listened to it 4 or 5 times. I love that thing.
You got to buy it, right? You got it free?
Well, first, I paid for it and it never came in the mail. I ordered it on the internet. It never came in the mail.
All right, this gets cut out. Well, if you did, you should talk to somebody about
I got the free one now, so as long as...
you should still get the other one.
It's okay.
Would you use a stolen credit card? Did you use your mom's credit card?
I did use my mom's credit card.
Yeah, well, that's probably
She probably cut it.
He was doing all nights at the Loop, and when I came in to do mornings, we would like have a little crossover. And he was funny, and I needed a news guy, or he worked well with me. You know, he's a good setup guy. And I remember one day he said, Steve Dahl's here, and he says he just got a regular unleaded for 102 at the pump. Let's talk about it. Or something like, and I thought, oh, that was kind of cool the way he put that. And so I had him come on to do the news and just kind of, you know, be a sidekick guy. And over the years, you know, I mean, I think we did a lot of good stuff together. I always made an effort to try to make him feel, you know, like he was a part of stuff. And but it was never a 50-50 partnership. And he had a problem reconciling that with, you know, his wife. So, that's really what it came down to, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I really think that he told her that we were 50-50 partners, and she found out that we weren't.
That's nice.
And I wasn't. With all due respect to him, I think a 66-33 split was pretty fair, based on the amount of work that I did versus not just on air but off air in terms of our career and all that. I thought it was a pretty fair split.
All right, well, we're going to go to a real.
Apparently you don't.
What? No, I'll give my reaction.
But even if I were like if I were our manager, I would have taken 20% off the top. So it wasn't really out of whack. But I think when he got married, he wanted to just be, I don't know,
See,
change
then why does
his life.
And then he blames it on a bunch of other stuff.
Right, he blames it on my drinking. But I don't really think that was.
Did he develop that?
I
or was
drank
that right
I drank for 20 years. You know, wasn't
yeah, you guys were together for 15 years.
Yeah. So,
okay.
I mean, I definitely was developing a problem, but I don't know if you really care about somebody and you think that they have a drinking problem. Do you think that coming back from your 2-week honeymoon and quitting on the eve of signing like a 5-year, $15 million contract with them and never even like confronting that person face to face, does that really seem like the best way to help an alcoholic?
Yeah. Good point.
So, all right. And it didn't stop me from drinking. So, it's you know, I did that on my own.
All right,
later.
So we'll end this segment and we'll talk a little bit more about that.
FM 95 presents Leave It to Stever, starring Steve Dahl and Gary Meyer.
Gee, Gary, this homework's boring. Let's practice for our show tomorrow.
Yeah, do your impersonations. Do Cup.
That's right, Gary.
Do Ann Landers.
Hello, this is Ann Landers.
Gosh, do Paul Lynde.
I don't think we should do that guy, Gary. I think that's in poor taste.
Go on, go on.
Oh, wow.
Steve Dahl, afternoons on WLS FM 95. WLS FM 95 presents Leave It to Stever, starring Steve Dahl and Gary Meyer.
Hey, Steve, want to go out and play some catch?
Sure, Gary. I'm all done writing the jokes for tomorrow's show.
Let me see them.
Okay, I'll put on my catcher's mask.
Gosh, you crummy little creep, you're sick.
Gee, thanks, Gary.
And don't tell me that's a catcher's mask.
For more of Steve Dahl, tune in afternoons to WLS FM 95.
All right, WDHL Chicago.
So now you're going to, at some point it will say like Steve Dahl, WCKG and all that, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I mean, I do want the pub for that.
All right.
And the 20 years in the can, you put up
Dahl.com. I was going to save that all for,
that should flash throughout the show.
Yeah, like a telethon?
Yeah.
Okay,
just a lower third identifier, as we call it, all the time. A crawl. Give me a nice crawl. Call 877-28-STEVE, Dahl.com. Order today. You know, something like that.
All right, we can
like an infomercial.
All right, no problem, no problem.
Because it's coming off like one anyway, so why not?
Kind of looks like
I'll put you down for. I get you a couple $100. Take care of me.
All right.
Won't be a problem.
Let us play.
You want free barbecue sauce at Burger King? I can do that.
Usually if you get a teenager at the window, they'll let you go. But if you get the manager, the ones that wear the tie, the blue Burger King shoes, they'll
now there's a failure. You know?
Well, yeah.
I don't think so, son. That'll be 15 cents. Okay.
And you give them the quarter and they actually give you the dime back.
Yeah. Thanks for this meaningless piece of silver, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, let's play clip number 9.
I got a family that loves me, a good strong roof that's above me, but just can't stand letting them all down. Yeehaw! Susie, you don't have any wrong. Sometimes I wish you could get some. Then again, I'm afraid I might drown. Coconut Susie can take
song, you think I'd remember the chorus.
from the things that will break me. Don't leave me standing here by myself. Coconut Susie could teach me somewhere to reach me. I just can't do it all by myself.
Little What is a coconut Susie?
It's a pina colada without vodka. I mean, without rum. Rum. Yeah, and a pina colada with vodka is a chi-chi, right? I think so. But anyway, I was at a restaurant in Hawaii, and I was reduced to ordering off the kids' drink menu, and I found it bittersweet. Although I must say, I really do enjoy those coconut Susies, because you can have a million of them, and you just get fat.
It's a cool name for a song. It's a cool name for a song. It's a cool name for a song.
Actually, I got that from Shemp, my producer.
That's a cool name.
When I said, well, I guess I'll have a coconut Susie, he went, it sounds like a good song.
It is, definitely.
Oh, okay.
It's got a lot of meaning in the song.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know what else are good? Shirley Temples. Or Roy Rogers, perhaps you call them a Roy Rogers. They're excellent. It's an excellent cocktail.
The alcohol in those, or no?
No.
Okay, good.
It's
so
like,
we can keep that on then.
Yeah,
you
it's
don't have
like
to cut that part out.
No, that's what I'm saying. I order like a Shirley Temple now. Or a Roy Rogers, depending
I would
where
call
I'm
it
at.
Roy Rogers.
What depends?
Shirley Temple. I get another audience.
Roy Rogers is Coke. Not where I come from, sir, but yeah, like that would be Coke and grenadine or whatever, and a Shirley Temple would be 7-Up and grenadine or club soda. Or a kitty cocktail. Sometimes I just say kitty cocktail. But when I was a kid, we called it a Roy Rogers. We never had the dark version. So I don't, it might depend on where you're from.
All right, so when...
I'd like to write a song about that.
You can do all your songs about
It was a Roy Rogers
kind of night.
Yeah. Or was it a Shirley Temple kind of night?
Bisexual, and you can do both.
Wow.
All right, so when did you decide to stop drinking?
Oh, when my wife was going to leave me. Actually, she wasn't going to leave me. I decided to stop drinking because there were several episodes that sort of indicated to me that maybe it would be a good thing to consider. And I guess I realized my son, Patrick, who's a senior in high school now, he was maybe a freshman. Yeah.
It's been 3 years, right?
More than 3, so he might have been in 8th grade. But so I could tell that I was really setting a bad example. And I really didn't want to do that because I had a bad example set for me. And so I don't know.
Well, man, you kicked that. You did it dry, no AAA or AA?
I did use the automobile club a little bit. So you're right about that.
In the meantime, I'm trying to figure out how to communicate to someone I'm choking on a sandwich. I mean,
they're not looking at you.
I'd have to go over to the snack bar and wait in line, and then the lady would, "What do you want?" I know how to Heimlich, so I just made a fist and just started punching myself in the. And on my way to the tunnel, I decided this was going to be my course of action, and the thing came out. And then I had to stop myself from taking the piece because it wasn't really, I'd swallowed it too soon. From taking the piece, putting it back in my mouth, and finishing it. I swear to God. Well, what are you doing? And then I threw it out, and then I went back up to my seat and started eating the sandwich again and almost choked on another piece because I was so freaking hungry.
What about Howard Stern?
I've never met Howard Stern, although, and certainly on the air I used to bash him as he bashed me, but once again, we were opposite each other.
It's business.
I respect him for what he's done, and I think he respects me as much as he respects anybody.
Now, you said this the other day on the air. Do you feel that you could have been where Howard Stern is now? You said that on the other day.
Gary and I were on in Chicago, Detroit, Milwaukee, and we were to start on Monday in Los Angeles. And on that Friday, I inexplicably got fired from the Loop. And I don't even know why. To this day, no one can tell me.
They throw out a reason?
They said it was assaults on community standards, but I mean, nobody really. I've talked to all the people involved since then, and none of them know why. And the one guy who does know why won't tell me why. But I think it was some kind of destiny because had this was before my son was born, my first son, I would have been on in LA, I would have moved out there or something, and I'd be dead. So
really,
I think everything happens for a reason. But yeah, we were definitely there, and for whatever cosmic reason, the rug got pulled out from under me.
What about the syndication now? How far do you plan to go with that?
I don't care. I'd like to be on everywhere, I guess, if that
You know,
works.
you're making the right steps. We were talking about Mancow. I follow radio a little. Mancow's picking up little places like Podunk, Iowa. You picked up Detroit, your first station. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
Not going for little guys. You're not going for numbers. You're going for quality.
Yeah, I just am going for people who actually really want the show and understand it, and because I don't need like a whole new set of problems. You know, so if they want it the way it is, then that's great, and then I just try to include them in the audience.
All right. What about Jonathan?
Nobody in Chicago seems to. I mean, people in Chicago seem to be proud of it. So.
Johnny B.
John is he's on in LA and he's on here, but he's trying to pretend that he's.
He's still pretending?
Well, he's like in LA, but he's live here, pretending he's here, and he's taped in LA, but he's pretending he's on live. So
yeah,
I don't know how you make that work.
Do you think he?
And so far, I don't think he has. So.
Do you think his brand of radio, his time pass, kind of the zoo type format?
I think that one of the reasons that I've been on so long is because I pretty much am myself on the air, and I think that does make a difference because everybody changes, and what they want changes, and if you actually are yourself, then the audience changes along with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to them leaving you behind because you're still doing fraternity pranks.
That's true. This is true.
But I like John, and Buzz Kilman is coming back with him, and I think that will help him get some equilibrium. But I think you got to be careful what you wish for, because he's on in LA and Chicago, but he's in an untenable situation where he can't make it work because, like I said, he's live here, but he's taping it for LA, and he's trying to impress LA by using Chicago, and so he's going back and doing old things, and it's
just not working out.
Yeah.
All right, let's take another quick break, and then we got one more.
Can I just ask,
Sure.
We're on in Detroit now, but it doesn't make any difference, right? It's all just like part of the thing. That's the way it has to be. Otherwise, I don't think it works. So. And so far, nobody has said anything negative to me about it.
No, I always get worried when people syndicate, but you've done well. You've got Scott Zach seal approval.
Right on, brother.
I don't know.
Good enough for me.
All right, so one more break, and then we got one more segment.
God, how long is this show?
We need 7 minutes left, I promise.
Greasy hair and skid marked underwear. I'm a wimp. I think Donahue is a commie. I still live with my mommy. I'm a wimp. I've never taken drugs, but I'm into collecting bugs. I'm a wimp. When I'm feeling blue, I just fondle my apple too. I'm a wimp. England getting down, fighting over those 2 little hunks of ground. Those islands are filled with nothing but sheep, so that makes Margaret Thatcher little Bo Peep. What's the deal with the junta anyway? Why do all the reporters pronounce it wrong?
Welcome back to WDHL.
Get it?
Go ahead.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for all the great entertainment. 2 questions. There's a tape out called Last Days of Disco. Is that Disco Demolition in that tape?
There's Disco Demolition in it.
Yeah. And
but it's a movie, yeah? But I haven't seen it. But
yeah. Whatever happened to Maggie? Maggie?
Oh, Maggie Brock.
Right.
She did news for us at WLS and at the Loop, I guess, a little bit too, till Kevin Matthews scared her out of town.
Oh, is that what happened?
Well, yeah, I think so. And you know, Gary tried to beat her up 2 times. He really did. A little girl. She's out in Arizona, and I still talk to her, and she's doing well. She hosts her own talk show out there.
She calls in every so often.
And yeah, she was here for my 20th anniversary show, and she comes in every once in a while, but she's still doing okay. How's what? You're not in line. I can't. How's Doug Llewellyn? Doug Llewellyn? What's he saying?
Doug Llewellyn, that's what I heard.
From the People's Court? Oh, I had to work with him during the OJ trial, didn't I? I did. He was on my show reporting on OJ. Did you know that Rusty the bailiff from the People's Court was the bailiff at the Charles Manson trial?
No, I did not know.
And Judge Wapner and Rusty the bailiff have it's like Animal Court or something on the Animal Network, where they settle disputes about animals. It's a good show.
We don't get that with the Jones and her cable?
No, you got to get the satellite dish. You got to get DSS for that.
For Animal Court? All right, next
Rusty
question.
the bailiff comes out and picks up your dog and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, Rusty the bailiff was always a cool guy.
But there is no Doug Llewellyn on that. I kind of miss that. I'd like Doug Llewellyn to, so now let's talk to the pet owners and find out how they feel about the judge's decision. But they don't have that.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Just I have a question. I want to make a quick comment. First, it's good to see you again. I met you 17 years ago. And I have a picture sleeve of Do You Think I'm Disco, autographed by Steve, Gary, and Marcus Palmer.
Oh.
And that's really cool. But the question I was going to ask you is...
Thanks for stalking.
What's that?
Nothing.
Have you thought about doing a CD of some of your earlier songs, your early parody songs, like Another Kid in the Crawl?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm working on that.
Cool.
So all that stuff will be available.
Some of that stuff's
at doll.com. Is it just crawling across the screen? Doll.com. 877-28-STEVE.
A lot of that stuff's on the 20 years in the can.
Yeah, but I do have. I'm going to put out another one.
Cool. They're cool.
Because it's really easy to do now. So with digital recording and stuff, you just crank those
burn
babies
your own
out.
Disc.
Yeah.
You sit there after the show and just burn discs.
Right. Have the kids doing it. It's like making Pop-Tarts. Yeah. Come on, burn Daddy another CD. Let's go. Come on. Put the label on. Let's go.
Hey, Steve. You obviously enjoy what you're doing. So have you ever had any thoughts about retiring or quitting, or how much longer you plan on doing this?
Is that for
not that it's a hint or anything.
Or quitting, or doing it more? I wouldn't mind doing it forever. Really. I like doing it, so. I wouldn't mind doing it. I wouldn't mind doing it for 4 hours instead of 5.
It's a long shift, too.
5 is long, and I would hope that at some point people will understand if I want to go to Florida for a month or something during the winter and broadcast from there, and not hold it against me because I can. But if people won't do that, I can stay on forever. Because I do like being on. When I'm on vacation and I have no place to vent, it's like they ask the question and then they make them walk away. I have no place to vent, so I kind of go crazy. So, I'll be on as long as people will have me.
Could you compare your show now to maybe back at the Loop, the first time at the Loop? Has it changed with 20 years?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I just try to be better every day at it. So, I don't know that I get better every day, but overall I think that's really my only goal, is to be better and to not make a mistake, or to not, if I did something and I could have done it better or done it a more interesting way or whatever. So, I don't have, when I hear old tapes like you play, I think, well, yeah, geez, it's gotten a lot better, but I never really notice it in the continuum of time.
What are you going to do to avoid becoming Bob Collins?
Well, I don't think I suffer from male pattern baldness, so I got that going. Nothing. I mean, I'm just going to be me, and
you're doing a good job.
So far, that's been enough. So
you're on WCKG 105.9, From
2 to 7.
2 to 7. How do you do that, 2 to 7?
I go to GNC and get this stuff called Metabolift. And some, you know, and a little Prozac.
All right.
And,
everybody's doing it, man.
It's the thing, man. It's the broadcast drug. And it's all prescription, like Elvis.
Well, Mr. Dahl, thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, everybody.
I got a Coffee Jones. I got a Coffee Jones, baby. Coffee Jones. What's a Coffee Jones? I got a Coffee Jones. A Coffee Jones is when you wake up in the morning, baby, craving for a cup of coffee so bad that it's like a Jones. A Coffee Jones. You got to have that caffeine flowing through your body. Drink it up, coffee, pour it down.